The annular solar eclipse on the 2nd of October 2024 is often called the Ring of Fire. We will talk about how it is different from a total solar eclipse. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's answer the first big question. What is an annular solar eclipse? An annular solar eclipse happens when the moon passes directly in front of the sun but does not completely cover it. This is because the moon is farther away from Earth in its orbit, making it appear smaller in the sky. The result is a glowing ring of sunlight surrounding the moon, which is why it's called the Ring of Fire, where two objects appear the same size in our sky. It occurs due to a precise alignment between the sun, moon, and Earth. The moon orbits the Earth in an elliptical, oval-shaped path. This means that sometimes the moon is closer to Earth, called perigee, and sometimes it is farther away, called apogee. When the moon is at or near apogee, it appears smaller in the sky. If the moon passes in front of the sun during this time, it doesn't completely block the sun's light because of its smaller size. Instead, the outer edges of the sun remain visible, forming a glowing ring of fire around the moon. During the annular eclipse, people in the path of the annular phase will see something amazing. The eclipse will start with a partial phase when the moon begins to cover the sun. When everything lines up just right, the annular phase will start, showing the unique ring of fire around the sun. This beautiful sight can last for up to 7 minutes and 25 seconds at its peak. The path of annularity for this particular eclipse will span between 165 to 206 miles wide. This is the basic mechanism behind an annular solar eclipse. Now, let's explore some common questions about these events. Don't you wonder why isn't there an eclipse every month and how astronomers predict the solar eclipse accurately? These questions remain the biggest question for me so far. The sun is about 400 times larger than the moon, but it's also about 400 times farther away from Earth than the moon is. The moon's orbit around the Earth is tilted by about 5 degrees relative to Earth's orbit around the sun, called the ecliptic plane. This means that most months, the moon passes either slightly above or below the sun in the sky from our perspective on Earth. These eclipse seasons happen once a year, which is why eclipses don't happen every month, even though the moon orbits Earth roughly once a month. There are 3 main types of solar eclipses: total, partial, and annular. Additionally, there's a rare 4th type known as a hybrid eclipse. Here's how each one happens. In a total solar eclipse, the moon completely covers the sun as viewed from Earth. This occurs when the moon is close enough to Earth in its orbit that it appears larger than the sun in the sky. During totality, the day turns into night for a brief moment, and the sun's outer atmosphere, called the corona, becomes visible. Total solar eclipses are visible only along a narrow path on Earth, called the path of totality. In a partial solar eclipse, the moon passes in front of the sun but does not fully cover it. This happens when the sun, moon, and Earth are not perfectly aligned. Partial solar eclipses are visible over a much wider area than total eclipses but are less dramatic. We already talked about the annular solar eclipse. Hopefully, you got to know everything about annular solar eclipse. The last one is hybrid solar eclipse, which is a rare combination of a total and annular eclipse. In some parts of the path, it appears as a total eclipse, while in other areas, it looks like an annular eclipse. This happens because of the curvature of the Earth and the moon's varying distance from Earth during the eclipse. Let's get back to the point. The last annular eclipse visible from the United States happened in 2023, so this time it will stretch across parts of the Pacific Ocean, South America, and a small section of the western United States. People outside this path may still see a partial solar eclipse, where the moon will cover a portion of the sun, but not enough to form the ring. If you are planning to see this event, make sure to check the local time and viewing conditions in your area. Last but not least important announcement is, can we look directly at an annular solar eclipse? The answer is no. You cannot safely look at an annular solar eclipse without special eye protection, like eclipse glasses. Even though the moon blocks most of the sun's light, the exposed ring of fire is still incredibly bright and can cause serious eye damage if you look at it with the naked eye. So always use proper protection. So, that's everything you need to know about the annular solar eclipse of October Sook 2024. If you're in the right place, be sure to grab your eclipse glasses and enjoy this amazing celestial event. And remember, even if you're outside the path of annularity, you can still witness a partial eclipse, which is incredible in its own right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all things in space. If you have any questions, concerns, or suggestions, you can leave them in the comment section. We will quickly respond to you. We'll see you next time.